Hi, my name is Caroline Dupuy and I'm a senior at Barnstable High School. I've been learning Spanish since first grade through an immersion program. This year I decided to focus on the importance of foreign language as a whole because I feel as though high school students really don't get the language. And I don't mean that in a literal way, I mean it in, what it really can offer you, because I think that most students just take it to get rid of the requirement. I decided that for my internship, I would make a documentary video type thing, which really highlights the best parts about learning a foreign language and how it can change you and the opportunities that it brings. For one, it completely changed who I am and it's completely expanded my worldview. I traveled to Cuba 2 years ago, which is, something 2 years ago you could not do as an American citizen, and without Spanish I wouldn't have been able to do that. There's a lot more to language, to foreign language, than the classroom. And it's really hard to see that as a student, as a high school student, when, you just want to get out of here and you just want to pass and, go to college and start your life. But there's so much more. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video and listen to me ramble. And I hope that you are able to absorb what these wonderful, intelligent people have to say about their own lives and their own experiences. And you can maybe one day say the same thing to your daughter or to your student when they feel uninspired in the classroom. Thanks.
My name is Marissa Jokum, BHS grad 2006. I'm currently living in Lima, Peru. I have been living abroad for more or less the past 5 years. I started learning Spanish in high school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. When you learn Spanish in a classroom, your teachers do their best to open you to new cultures and to really try and introduce yourself not just to language but to everything the Spanish language offers.
My name is Ben Falaci. I'm a senior at Barnstable High School, and I've taken both French and Spanish during my high school career. I had the great opportunity to live in a foreign country, and that's when I was really exposed to learning a language. And unlike a lot of students here, I didn't really have the choice of learning a language. I was forced to. I was thrown into it. But I'm really thankful for that because I don't know if I would have had the intimate relationship I have with learning a language. It's really become a passion of mine to not only travel but to understand the culture and the language of the places where I go.
How you doing? My name is Eric Curry. I'm housemaster here at Barnstable High School. Before I was a housemaster, I taught Spanish, so definitely I know the value of Spanish. Love the Spanish language, love the Spanish culture.
I lived in Puerto Rico for 13 years. I came here in 2011. It was hard. I mean, it was definitely a big change because I didn't think I was gonna stay here, but I wanted to play soccer, so I decided to stay in school because they didn't have it in Puerto Rico.
If it's possible, I would say travel, because as soon as you travel, you're gonna kind of recognize your limitations. You're out there and there's things you want to do, there's things you want to say, you want to express yourself, and you find like you can't. Right there, that's a huge motivation.
Spanish brought me to where I am right now in Lima, but now I'm actually leaving and traveling South America for 5 weeks, which I'm so excited about. And I know that I'll have the opportunity to travel virtually halfway across the world with Spanish and English for the rest of my life.
I'm really thankful that I can rely on my languages when I do travel. And they've brought me to a lot of places. And when I do travel, I don't travel so much as a foreigner. With a language like French or Spanish, it just might be me, but I really feel like I'm connected more to the country, and I feel, a little closer to the places that I go, and I feel like I learn a lot more because I can communicate with the locals, I can navigate my own way around, I don't have to ask for directions. But if I did, I'd be able to, start up a conversation with somebody.
Once you're abroad, once you begin to meet new people, once you begin to be able to have conversations with these people that you wouldn't have in your own native language, then that's where you really start learning and learning more about yourself as well.
Having to think in Spanish and then write it in English, or write it in English but you're thinking in Spanish is confusing, but I think the language has helped me figure out a lot of personal. I don't know how to explain, but it has helped, but it's definitely been confusing, and sometimes it's hard to think a certain way but write another way, or it becomes Spanglish instead of English or Spanish.
Language opens new doors. So by learning Spanish, I was able to study abroad. By learning Spanish, I was able to row in a boathouse in the middle of Spain. Something my other classmates were never able to do, maybe because they were also afraid of literally stepping outside the classroom. I've made more friends. I've learned more about numerous other cultures than I ever would have if I hadn't learned Spanish.
Traveling is just, being in another country where things are just different. It's so cool.
Yeah.
That it really does inspire you to want to go back, and when you go back to want to be able to participate more fully and know the language and all of that.
I definitely think that I can do anything that I want here. The United States definitely has better opportunities. It's totally different. It's very open, very free. Not that Puerto Rico wasn't free, but you're just forced to do better things. You know what I mean? I want to be a doctor, and I'm taking all these science classes, and it's awesome. And in Puerto Rico, I don't think I would have succeed as well as I'm doing now, I would say.
Even just here, when I finished taking Spanish and French, I started to stay after school, and I now am in an internship with kids learning English. And I mean, last year I met a girl from Peru who was new to our school, and she didn't speak any English, and I really enjoyed taking the time to work with her and use my Spanish skills to kind of extract the English that she had within her. And that was not only rewarding, but it was just not, I wouldn't have never met her, and she was such a nice girl, Danitia.
Language opens a lot of new doors for career opportunities that a lot of people don't know about when they start studying at such a young age. By living abroad, I've known that translation, for example, is actually a career choice that a lot of people don't consider. As well, another career choice, for example, international development. In order to be on the ground in the fields, working with communities that are still developing, you need to be fluent. There's a lot of doors that close because of language. There's a lot of people I know that would never be able to do the type of work I do because they're not fluent Spanish speakers. Actually, at my last job, I was working with college volunteers with mobile clinics in really poor communities here in Peru. And I tried to recommend other people for my position, and I said, what language level do they need for Spanish? They said, well, yours. I said, well, I can't recommend you anyone. And that really made me feel bad to think that people, even people living abroad, don't always take advantage of learning the language while they're here. And I feel like career-wise, that's just so important when you do go abroad to really immerse yourself and make sure that you are taking advantage of it to the fullest.
When you learn multiple languages, it serves as a vehicle that can bring you places, and that, with traveling and with just sitting in a classroom learning about a place through their own language, I've really broadened my worldly horizon, and I've gained worldly knowledge that I can fall back on, critical thinking, just approaching any problem. You have this knowledge that you can fall back on as a cushion, and learning another language has really opened my mind and allowed me to think from other perspectives other than my own, other than what I know as an American, as an English speaker. I've really felt that I have been able to think from a point of view from a Spaniard or from a Frenchman or from a Mexican, and that's something I really am grateful for.
You expand your world immensely. And that's huge. You're not viewing things from the perspective of just Cape Cod or just the United States. Your whole world view changes. Your whole, think for example of like the number of friendships that you can have. You know, everything has, you just like doubled. From English, now you've got all that you have in English, and you have that same experiences within the Spanish world.
I probably wouldn't know what was out there if I hadn't, learned another language, because I would have been so restricted to, to the United States. But because of that, with Spanish, essentially I have all of South America, I have Europe. With French, I have France, I have the colonies, and with the Romance languages, you can meander your way around Italian, and you can pick up other languages so easily just by learning one. So essentially you have the world once you learn one other language.
Honestly, if you're an 8th grader and you are taking any Spanish, either is any language, either is Spanish or French or Latin, honestly focus and really study it, because 20 years from now or 10 years from now, you don't know if you're gonna need it. Or because like my AP physics teacher, he took it in high school, and now he has students who come from another country and he has no idea. Like, he took Spanish and I speak Spanish, and sometimes I'm like, wait, what did you say? And he could have used it to help a little bit, but if you're gonna struggle because it's hard, but you can always stay after school and do things like that. But definitely take it, really take a language, take any language. Like, I speak Spanish and I'm taking AP Spanish, that's easy, but I wish I took AP French or Latin. I wish I did something different, but definitely take it serious, whatever class you're taking, because you don't know when you're gonna need it. And it's interesting anyways, and you can get a lot of jobs and you can do better in life.
Makes you realize that boys, mean girls, all of it doesn't matter.
Interesting being able to talk to all the children that were around and how so willing they were to help out with every single, like when we were up at the sand pile, they were so eager to take the wheelbarrow down and bring it back up like so many times. And even though, I'm not like that great at speaking Spanish, they're so willing to like talk and like try to help you figure out how to say something in Spanish that you didn't know. I think it was a really good learning experience in that way. And I definitely think they're so, like Megan and Caroline were saying, tight-knit, this community, and I think it'd be cool to take that back, not only with our group, which has become so tight-knit, but in our school too, in our Spanish community in the school.
Quería mejorar, sí, para poder, no sé, viajar a diferentes lugares y poder tener una conversación.
Do you like speaking English? A little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it hard?
Me parece muy interesante.
Does it make?
Been to America?
Sí,
USA?
Sí,
Oh yeah, you have
Ben?
to do it.
When did you go? When? ¿Cuándo?
¿Has visitado los Estados Unidos?
No, me compraron una camiseta en Estados Unidos.
Where did you go?
¿Cuándo?
¿A dónde
Visitaron Massachusetts.
Massachusetts? That's where we live.
us this entire time, and I feel
All our lives.
I feel lied to. I feel like this is so much more important.